there. In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss about linked mailbox. So linked mailbox is a mailbox of a user which is not available in our domain, in our forest. And such user may be a user of some other domain, some other forest, and domain or forest which having a tie-up with our forest, which having a contact with our forest. For example, if my domain is google.com and a user of yahoo.com want a mailbox in my domain, which is a google.com, so it's like that. A mailbox given to a user which is not available in our domain, which is an outsider, not in our exchange, can be considered as a linked account. So we are basically providing a user mailbox to a user which is outsider, which is of different domain. Our domain maybe have a tie-up with our domain. So I'm just going to mailbox exchange premises, and then recipient configuration, same place we're going to have. Now last time we created a user mailbox. This time we're going to create a linked mailbox. Selecting this linked mailbox, you can see a definition. Linked mailbox is the name for a mailbox that are accessed for a security principle in a separate or trusted folder, trusted forest. Trust is required. We already create a video of trust. You need a trust. So I'm just going with the user type. It could be have a new user, have the existing user. If we already have a user, and go with the browse. Now since I'm going to create a new user, a user of different forest. Now I'm going to tag it with accounts OU. You can have any other OU as well, but I'm going to have account OU. Now this particular user is going to tag with is of different trust. We need trust before to create a linked account, and we already have a trust. That's the reason we can create a linked mailbox. Now I'm creating a first name, for example, Dan, and last name Major, D Major, long name, and a password. I have to give a password, and you can check that. It's up to you. You must change password next logon. It's up to you totally. I'm giving next. Alias, same process. I have to give a alias name of the mailbox, for example, say D Major. And specifically this time I'm going to assign a mailbox database which I created MB1, so I'm going to assign MB1 for this user. I'm going to go with next. Rest I have nothing to do. This time I have to select a trusted forest or a domain which is already existing on our network. We already created a trust, which is techengineer.tv. And if you have any problem to create trust, you can watch our video. The link is provided. And now I'm going to give authentication. Either you authenticate or linked domain controller. So I have to give that, because if you press on next, you will get an error like that. So since it's a linked mailbox, you have to provide a linked domain controller, which is trust you formed. This is the trust unformed, tc.techengineer.tv, and select user. For example, I'm going to select Anirudh, and this particular user will be like Anirudh user is of techengineer.tv, or you can have an administrator. It's whatever the user. You have to select the user linked master account, and this particular user will be linked with that user, which is administrator of that, for example, Yahoo. Now I'm just going to archive setting, You can create an archive setting if that user asks you to have archive, and just left that a new mailbox, and that's it. If you remember, if you don't have a trust, if you didn't create a trust, you will not able to set a linked mailbox. That's the bottom line. So just you need to understand that if you didn't create a trust before or in a domain, you cannot create a linked mailbox. You will get an error anyway. So before to proceed, make sure your domain have a trust. So this is what the entire summary of users, and I'm going to go with next. It will create at any time. It's created, in fact, and you can copy that command to create more and more. Just you need to change the initials, and I'm just going with finish. So this linked account is created. It's now available in our forest, and that's it. This is what linked account is all about. So you can now if you already want to, this is for the new user. If you want to create for the existing one, you can select existing, browse, and these are the users in the entire forest, the existing users. So if you want to create more users or already have a existing user, you can have that existing user option as well. So hope you learned something about linked account, and remember you need a trust to create. Before we already have a trust video, watch those first and then try that linked account.